Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes, or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Alright kids, welcome back to another episode of Marvel Tales for the 60th time! That's right. I am Phil, joining me as always, not a Hawkeye, but an ally. It is
Ally, just in the owl, readying the arrows and fixing up the target.
Nice, that's right. We're going to start a 3-episode Hawkeye run here. This time we're going to talk the 4-issue Hawkeye miniseries from 1982 by one of our personal favorites, Mr. Mark Gruenwald himself. Yes. God rest his soul. That's my biggest, I wish I could talk to interview Mark Gruenwald.
Me too.
If I had the choice to talk to one person, from the great beyond, it would be Mark Gruenwald over Stan Lee. That's how
me
my
too.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah. I feel we both kind of feel the sentiment that Mark Gruenwald was kind of like the heart and soul of Marvel when we were kids growing up. He was kind of like the guy that embodied the very spirit of what Marvel was.
Oh, yeah.
And he had such a passion for the characters and for the storytelling. And he knew how to make things dark in his storytelling, as we saw with Captain America. But he also knew the importance of keeping it light and keeping it balanced.
Oh, yeah. So, he was you could tell he was a big fan. He had so much knowledge of,
Mm-hmm.
And just from what I hear from people I've talked to, they work with him. He has such a great sense of humor and stuff. And
just a great guy. Not just a great writer and artist and creator and all this, but just a great person.
Mm-hmm.
Just an amazing person. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to chat with him. I wish that we could do that. Yeah, definitely. And another one that I would love to speak with is Paul Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
He's no longer with us anymore, the artist. I would love to talk with him. I loved his art so much, and just to chat with him would be fantastic. But,
the best.
Yeah.
All right, so should we dive into this?
Yes.
Because I believe this may be the first appearance also of a certain vehicle.
Yeah. Very momentous occasion.
Yes. All right, so we'll get to like I said, Hawkeye 4-issue miniseries, 83. I'm sorry, I'm saying 82, 83. Because Hawkeye number 1, September 1983. Listen to the Mockingbird. Wait, wonder who's going to show up here. Writer and penciler Mark Gruenwald, inker Brett Breeding, colorist Bob Sharon, letterer Joe Rosen, and editor Dennis O'Neil.
Very nice.
Yes. All right. Hawkeye tests his new cycle. Out, made by Jorge Latham, and then takes his new girlfriend Sheila Danning back to his apartment. Clint tells Sheila about his past and the events which led him to become Hawkeye. Afterwards, Clint is sent back to Cross to deal with an intruder, which turns out to be Mockingbird. The two heroes have a small skirmish, and Mockingbird tries to tell Hawkeye that Cross is dealing in illegal activities, but Hawkeye ends up having her captured by the guards. Hawkeye returns to his apartment, but having become curious at Mockingbird's warning, so he sends Sheila home and returns to Cross to investigate. Once at Cross, Hawkeye himself is captured by the guards and put into a pit with Mockingbird. Sheila arrives and reveals to the two heroes that she knew about Cross's activities and was paid to be Clint's girlfriend to keep him from finding out the truth. Oh, so she's a prostitute. Well,
basically, yeah.
Toxic waste is then poured into the pit, but the two heroes manage to escape, and Hawkeye confronts Sheila with the ladder, stating that Cross is going to come after him because he knows too much. Hawkeye just leaves her in her apartment, and he and Mockingbird ride to Manhattan in silence. So, yeah, a lot happens here. We get the origin of Hawkeye. We get, it's like, life is grand at Cross. Well, not for long.
Not for long. Don't get used to the comfort, Hawkeye.
Yeah, I know.
It's not going to last.
I love that cover. That's such a great cover.
Oh, it's great. I love it. And this is the cover that they used for the very first Hawkeye Epic Collection, which came out last year, which collects this miniseries and a bunch of other stuff, like his earlier appearances as well, and maybe some of the first solo Avengers stuff as well.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the art's great. The story's great.
Yeah, we don't really see a lot of Mark Grunwald's artwork, or at least it's not as commonly available as his writing is. And he's great. He's a fantastic artist. It kind of reminds me a little bit of kind of like Ross Andrew a little bit in places, his art style.
Oh, yeah.
Like Spider-Man era Ross Andrew here and there, and a little bit of Ramita, like a little Ramita influence here and there. His art's great, yeah.
Yeah, because I was reading this, at first I was like, I'm like, yeah, this art looks familiar, but yeah, I'm not used to Grunwald being an artist, but I was just like, who does this remind me of? But
it's so cool. Yeah, and I love the little retelling of his origin, because it's only like 2 or 2.5 pages. It's not like it takes up half of the book, so that's nice. And I loved that we saw Mockingbird.
Yes.
In this issue. She had been around before this, briefly, but I didn't really realize who she was, like that she had been called the Huntress and all this other stuff. Like I didn't realize that she had gone by other names.
Yeah, that's another one we might have to cover, say if we can find it on the app or something, cover some of her early appearances and stuff. Yeah.
I would really love that. Yeah, she's a great character too. And I'm happy that in this limited series we get to see a lot of her. She's really fantastic.
Oh
yeah. That the part that always surprises me about this when I reread it is the part when they're in the pit and the toxic waste is getting poured down on them, and Clint just kind of sits there. He just kind of is like, whatever. He just kind of has like an Eeyore moment.
It's just too much. It's like, is he about to just say, oh, F it, I'm just gonna die? Just
yeah. And it always kind of takes me back and surprises me that he just kind of sits there and lets this acidic goop rain all over him.
It's like Mockingbird just basically gives him the business. She's like, oh, you're such, your big time Avengers buddies can see you now, and just she just gets them mad.
Yeah. So he goes, shut up, and then he shoots his grappling hook out of there.
Well, they took his bow and stuff, but I guess he had a hidden rocket arrow tips.
Yeah. So he just kind of flings it. Yeah, that's so funny. That part always amuses me for some reason. That he just kind of sits down. He's like, "Oh, I'll just let this acid kill me. Yeah, whatever."
I know, burns off a good bit of his costume.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about that.
Oh man! I mean, it was only like a panel or two, but you also got a Hawkeye shower scene in this too, Justin.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Mark Grunwald made me very happy with this. Yeah.
I love when he goes to confront Sheila and everything. He's like, basically says, he's like, you hurt me more than anyone's ever hurt me,
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's legit. Yeah.
Well, again, early in the issue, he's thinking, this is the best relationship I've ever had, and,
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's to go out to try to kill somebody is one thing, but to like play mind games with them before you try to kill them is even it's so much worse.
To make him feel like he thought he found like the great love of his life, and she's just like, nah, it's paid to be there, to keep you busy.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's harsh. Yeah. So in retrospect, you can see why he would kind of sit down and just kind of slump his head and sigh and be all Eeyore about it and kind of just let that acid kind of rain down on him. But I guess what it is the visual that makes me laugh so much.
He just has his head down. He just sits down. I was like, that's it.
With the stuff raining down on him and Mockingbird slowly like eating away at them.
I do think, I think this series is better for the inclusion of Mockingbird, that pair up. I think it's better than if he had done this himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that too. If he had himself or even another member of the Avengers, like Captain America or somebody else, they would have stolen the show
Mm-hmm.
in a heartbeat. One of the other Avengers, somebody that we know really well. Hawkeye needed somebody to partner up with that wasn't as well known, that was kind of an enigma and a mystery, like Mockingbird was.
Yeah, because at this point she hadn't made too many appearances. Basically just the Kazar stuff, and
right,
which I think she gets into. Was it next issue? I think
Yeah, and I'd forgotten all about that. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, she's still more of a mystery, so she wasn't going to steal the show here. I mean, this was enough of a guest appearance to allow Hawkeye to kind of take the center stage and do his thing. But without her, I think that this would have suffered tremendously.
And I was right. This is the first appearance of the Sky Cycle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Was it designed by Stark? They say.
I think he. Or did they say? Did he say they did it at Cross? I forget. I thought he said they.
Oh,
well, didn't that guy? He wasn't in on the Cross stuff, but the guy he was working with created the Sky Cycle for him. That Latham or whatever. Yeah.
Latham. Yeah.
But they used that later because I think Grunwald liked it because then Captain America starts using the Sky Cycle too.
Yeah, that's right. He straps his shield to the front of it.
It basically becomes almost sort of like an Avengers.
Yeah.
So maybe not the first one, but I'm sure later on, either like Tony Stark or T'Challa were making got into the Sky Cycle business. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh yes, it is credited here as created by Mark Grunwald. So
nice. Very cool.
Oh yeah. Physical characteristics. Curb weight 680 pounds. High efficiency mini turbine. Oh man, they got all kinds of stats on this thing.
They got full stats on the cycle.
Can carry up to 450 pounds. Maximum airspeed 380 miles per hour.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That thing can cruise.
I know. Seems pretty dangerous with an open cockpit there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Up to 12,000 feet. So.
Okay. Yeah. Don't want to fall from that height, though. Ooh. Make sure you got your seatbelt on.
Yes, Hawkeye. Did they say Latham again? Hawkeye had 3 of them built eventually. Retained 3 of the Sky Cycle stored in the garage at Avengers compound. Captain America and the East Coast Avengers soon came to use them as well.
Yes,
they were used by these members and other non-flying key members of the team.
Captain America pretty much took his own for his own exclusive use. He was like, yeah, this one's mine now.
Well, yeah, he kind of modified. Yeah, like you said, he modified one so he put the shield on the front of it, kind of in front of the windshield. Yeah. I miss those days.
Me too. It was fun.
All right. Anything else, or should we get to the second one?
No, I think we covered pretty much everything in the first one. Yeah, it was great. It was great to see Mockingbird right off the bat.
Yes.
I'm glad that they put her in the first issue and didn't save her for towards the end or whatever, or halfway through the miniseries or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, they got to the point. They weren't just,
Yeah.
It wasn't who's that shadowy figure? I don't know.
Plus, we've got Mark Grunwald and Denny O'Neil telling the story. So, I mean, come on. It's going to be good.
It's not going to wander off too much,
Right. Yeah. They're going to keep it very concise.
All right. So, Hawkeye number 2 from October 1983. Point Blank. Same team as before. After getting some target practice and beating up some thugs on some abandoned railway tracks in Manhattan, Hawkeye returns to his apartment to find it has been emptied completely. He goes back to the balcony where he parked his Sky Cycle to find Mockingbird leaning against it and offering to buy Clint some breakfast. He accepts and then flies off, and the fly off with Silencer watching in the shadows. Later, the 2 heroes stop off at Mockingbird's apartment where she explains how she became a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent and her life since then. Clint falls, again, agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., spent some time with Kazar.
Some quality time.
Clint falls asleep and Bobby goes out to buy some things for his costume. Later, Silencer sneaks into the apartment and puts a gun to Clint's head, but Clint wakes up before Silencer can kill him. Clint manages to dodge Silencer's bullets before Bobby gets back and makes Silencer retreat. Hawkeye puts on his new costume and the pair go to visit Latham at his house, who informs the heroes of the security changes at Cross. The 2 heroes then head off to the Cross Tech building. After breaking into the building and finding some fouls, Hawkeye and Mockingbird are attacked by Silencer. Hawkeye manages to put himself and Silencer out of the window, only for them both to land on the Sky Cycle. The two struggle with each other and try to hold on to the Sky Cycle at the same time, but they both eventually fall off whilst over a factory chimney. Hawkeye manages to push Silencer down the chimney before escaping on his Sky Cycle to pick up Mockingbird back at the Cross Tech and flies away. So we killed a guy, right? He doubled down.
Basically.
He doubled down a factory chimney. He's either gonna hit the bottom, hit the bottom far below, or burn up, or both. So.
Yeah, what about that Avengers? We don't kill anybody in the Avengers code.
Yeah, is that what you tell Mockingbird a little bit after this? I don't know.
Yeah, how about that?
But I mean, I don't know if Mark Gruenwald was trying to build Hawkeye a rogues gallery in this series, but I'm like, I would like to see Silencer return.
Me too. I was actually trying to look up to see if Silencer had made any other appearances, and there's another character named Silencer, but it's somebody completely different.
Oh man!
So yeah, it's a cool concept, like a character that can kind of nullify sound around them in their immediate vicinity. It's really cool. It's a great concept for an assassin character, really. And this was the issue that kind of made me realize what this miniseries was going to be about. Like, because the first time I read it, I was like, well, is this going to be like a Captain America type story, or a Spider-Man type story, or a Daredevil story? But then it kind of became its own thing, and I was like, no, this is like a Hawkeye story. Like, he's got his own thing. Like, this is it's uniquely his own flavor. This story. It's got elements of other kind of superhero stuff, but it's uniquely its own, and I love that. That's what set this kind of issue for me. Kind of set this mini-series apart from the rest. Yeah,
I mean, suppose I'm looking at his entry here in the notes. I mean, supposedly it's saying his status is he's alive, but even in his only appearance is this issue, and at the end it says, Hawkeye knocks Silencer down an industrial smokestack, apparently killing him.
Yeah.
So if you only made one appearance and you ended by falling down a smokestack, I assume you're dead.
Yeah. And again, what about that thing that you were talking about your wife with later on, a few years down the road? Yeah.
Or I'm trying to remember what his whole argument was. It just, if you have to kill, it's only in self-defense. It's, didn't she have, Phantom Rider hanging off of a cliff or something? Yeah, he's like, you could have pulled him up or something. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's still pretty flimsy. It's a flimsy argument, Hawkeye, yeah.
Sheila's going to burn us with acid. I still didn't kill her. But yeah, I mean, he's down in the dumps in this thing. I mean, in the beginning, he's just been hanging out in that subway tunnel.
Yeah, he's like kind of in a catatonic state, just on autopilot, shooting all these arrows over and over again at this target. There's this big pile of busted arrows right below his bullseye. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And his costume's all torn to shreds, and these street punks are coming up and messing with him. It's great.
But then once they mess with him, that's when his aim improves.
Yeah. They realize the error of their ways pretty quickly.
Yeah. And again, he's like, what am I going to do? Run to the Avengers? He's like, nah, I can't, I can't do that.
Yeah. I can't do that every time that I have a problem. And I love the little callback we get to Mockingbird's origin.
Yes.
Where she was with S.H.I.E.L.D., where she hung out with Kazar. And the stuff with the Huntress, I completely forgot about that. I forgot that the Marvel even had a Huntress at one point. Mm-hmm. I thought that was exclusively a DC thing. Yeah.
And again, it's they kind of don't play that up as much. She was like a biologist and stuff, and
mm-hmm. Yeah, she did all kinds of things before she became Mockingbird. Mm. Yeah.
Man, I wish we get some editor's notes. I mean, I don't know if there's room, but I wish we would have got some editor's notes.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because was that in the Kazar series that she was featured?
That early Kazar series I didn't read.
In the 70s? Yeah, I didn't read that either.
I read the one in the 90s, but I'm trying to see if it's in some of the notes here.
And then this story where she gets injured. I haven't read that one either.
Yeah, I wonder if I know she had that look. It was an issue of Marvel Team Up. I wonder. Let's see. Her first appearance was Astonishing Tales number 6 from June 1971.
And as the Huntress, it was Marvel Team Up number 95.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Wait, no. First, Mockingbird's first as Mockingbird, Marvel Team Up 95. First as Huntress, Marvel Super Action number 1.
Marvel Super Action?
Mm-hmm. I thought that was all reprints, but maybe not.
Huh. I don't remember that at all.
It looks like maybe the Kazar stuff might have been in, because I'm seeing appearances. Oh, it might be all the first appearances, but like a bunch of Astonishing Tales.
Oh my word! I don't remember this Marvel Super Action at all.
Yeah, that's what I said. I found like a random issue and one time a few years back in a back issue bin, but it was like a reprint of like an old like Marvel Boy story from like the 40s.
Oh no!
So that's why
really?
I thought it was like a reprint series, but maybe it's not.
Oh wow! Yeah, I've never heard of this before, but it looks like she's featured in one of the characters as in one of the stories rather in that that issue called Red-Eyed Jack is Wild, and that it kind of focuses on maybe her Shield era stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any Kazar issues mentioned. I'm seeing Astonishing Tales and stuff, so I don't know if maybe all her stuff with Kazar oh no, here's some Kazar. Kazar 3 and 4 and 5 through 8. So that might be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe some early Kazar.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, there's some Avengers issues where she's hanging out with Hawkeye, and then of course jumps to the West Coast Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, we got to do some Mockingbird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that Marvel Team Up 95. I would love to cover that one at some point. That would be cool.
I was going to say, if we don't cover it here, we'll cover it on Spider-Cast and have you over there.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, if we do some Mockingbird stuff here, at that point, yes, we'll do that Marvel Team Up over on Spider-Cast.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder how Lilith feels about Mockingbird.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. She's a badass chick. I think she'd like her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she's cool. And she's unique. She's a unique character.
Oh, yeah.
I think, as far as Marvel goes.
Yeah, I gotta look at this Marvel in a minute. I wonder if those early Kazars are on there. I'm trying to remember. Did Mockingbird ever get like her own limited series, like in the I mean, they gave everyone a limited series in the 90s and stuff.
I think there was a Mockingbird series.
There was a series like in the past few years, I think. Yeah, I know that. Well, let me look. There was an 8-issue series for Mockingbird in 2016. We're going to have to cover that someday, because I never read that.
I think that's the one I'm thinking about, where she gets the super soldier serum. I think that's the one. And, right? Maybe, yeah.
I haven't read that one, yeah. Oh, yeah, and then there is a 6-issue Hawkeye and Mockingbird series from 2010.
Yes, we were going to cover that this month.
Yeah, we ran out of room, yeah. Oh, I didn't read this. I don't think I read this either. In 2015, there was a Mockingbird Shield 50th anniversary issue.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, that's cool.
Oh, they might have
good.
They might have those early Kazars. Okay.
No kidding, really?
Or at least, I mean, I don't know if it went past 9 issues, but at least the first 9 issues are on there, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I think we got enough to do a Mockingbird month at some point.
Nice. That'd be fun.
The February next January, and maybe instead of Hawkeye, Mockingbird next February.
Yeah.
Man, by the time December rolls around, we'll have next year's schedule already worked out.
I know, right? Especially if we do another Doomcember in 2024 too.
Oh, you know what we should do?
That'll be another month.
You know what we should do for next Doomcember? Just do all those what is it, supervillain team up issues? Just him and Doom and Namor.
Oh yeah, yes. I would love that.
I'm sure you would.
Especially the Namor ones. Yeah.
You love a bad boy.
That's right.
Especially when he's wearing a Speedo.
This is the best kind.
All right. So, yeah. I was gonna say, anything else on number 2 here? Let me open this back up here.
Let's see.
But yeah, I mean, Silencer's cool. I mean, I don't think they ever really explained if the power was in his suit or not. Just like there was silence all around him when he shot a gun. You couldn't hear it, or
Yeah, that whole part in Clint's apartment where he's asleep, and like this is the first sleep he's had in like days. It looks like that whole sequence was really cool. It was almost kind of like a James Bond sequence, like from a James Bond movie or something.
Yeah, he's like
I really like that.
Hawkeye's like fighting in his underwear.
I love that too.
I enjoyed it.
Fighting in his Speedo. Yeah, you got it. I love it. And also the art, again, really cool.
Oh,
and we get a new costume for Hawkeye as well, which looks really good.
Yeah, because this is the one he had like in the West Coast Avengers, like early on.
Yes. Yeah, this is the one that I know the most. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great issue. Like I said, this is the issue that kind of... I liked the first issue a lot, but this, when I read this one, this was like, okay, now I understand what this miniseries is about, and I get what kind of superhero story Hawkeye would be involved in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. It made more sense to me after I read the second issue, I should say.
I wonder if Grunwald, because he didn't do the art a lot, I wonder if he insisted on doing the art for this just so he could design Hawkeye's new costume and design the Sky Cycle and stuff.
Maybe, yeah. That's a good question.
Because I could just see him being that passionate where it's like, yeah, no, I want to.
Yeah, yeah. I bet he had a bunch of designs for the new costume.
And I reading the story, it keeps hitting me. I'm like, oh, did you see that Marvel Legends pack where you can get Hawkeye and the Sky Cycle? I want that.
Yes, and you can get Mockingbird and Tigra and
there's like a West Coast Avengers set or something. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I was thinking about that the one day. I'm like, I want to get Hawkeye and the Sky Cycle, and I want to get that set. I want to like a West Coast Avengers.
Yes, a West Coast Avengers set. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to work my way up to that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of money, and I don't really feel like parting with that much right now.
I know.
But I think eventually I'm going to work my way up to that because I love that team so much, as you know. That was like my team when I was a kid. Was the West Coast Avengers, and yeah, I'd love to have.
When I started,
Hank Pym with the red jumpsuit.
Yes, Tigra, yes,
Tigra, the Julia Carpenter Spider Woman.
I don't think Wonder Man's not in that set. I don't think, is he?
No, but he already has.
But he does have it. Yeah,
a costume or a figure with that costume, I believe. From that era, if I remember right.
Yeah, because it's like you might have to go outside that set, but yeah, you could build that original team.
Yeah. And there's definitely a bunch of Moon Knight figures. What about the Wasp? Is there a Wasp?
There has to be.
Marvel Legends figure.
Let me look this up on.
And not like the MCU, like the, you know what I mean,
like straight up comic book Janet fan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, is that a Quantum Mania? Yeah. There's there is. I think it's one of her later looks, but yeah, there's a Marvel.
Oh yeah, there it
Wasp.
is.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing another one too that's a blue and white.
Oh yeah, I just found because I think she wore that might be from a West Coast Avengers. Yeah, that one.
She had that one in the West Coast Avengers a lot.
Yeah,
or at least some variation of that. Yeah, I'm thinking.
That would look more like
a West Coast Avengers action figure pack in my near future. The next year or so.
Oh, looking on Amazon here. There's literally a Scarlet Witch figure, and the
oh, perfect.
And the package even says the West Coast Avengers.
Yeah, right on the logo and everything. And I know that there's a Vision one too.
Oh yeah, I think you get Vision. I think you get both Visions, can't you? Probably.
Yeah, you can get.
I know there's a white Vision out there version, but yeah, you can probably get the classic. I'm sure there's a classic one too.
Yeah, you could do both.
Damn cameras. I gotta switch cameras because if I hold too much stuff up to the camera, it goes all blurry.
Oh,
because I have trouble focusing. Damn it. That's right, kids. That's my secret. I don't use the built-in camera. All right.
Showing them behind the curtain, Phil.
But yeah. Oh yeah, we always joke. Yeah, if I go with that built-in camera, I could do the Charlie S review. Because his was always weird because he had like his built-in camera. It was like a work computer. The camera was like at the bottom of the screen instead of at the top.
Oh,
so yeah, it was always like a weird angle.
It's so funny.
I know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, just like you, I'd love to build that West Coast Avengers collection, figure collection, and
someday maybe.
I definitely want that Hawkeye and that Sky Cycle.
Yeah, that Wasp figure looks good too. That blue.
Oh, the blue one.
I'm really impressed with that. That's really spiffy. Yeah.
Oh my god! I mean, if you really wanted to go overboard, it's just try to collect that all the 2 Avengers teams have a whole West Coast side, have a whole
West and East. That because there's also a
especially for like that late 80s, early 90s. I mean, you get some like Cap, She-Hulk,
just a Cersei and the Black Knight.
Yeah,
from the early 90s iteration with the jackets.
I was gonna say, did they have jackets?
And Cersei had the red red costume. Yeah. So yeah, you could totally build. I don't know if they have a clean shaven Hercules that you could sub in for the East Coast team, but I'm pretty sure that you could find everybody else.
Or you just kind of try to find a head that looks close enough that's like beardless and just like
right, yeah. I'll never forget that. I was like, "What are you doing, shaving Hercules' beard and mustache off? That's crazy. What are you doing?"
Might need to put some shelves up back here, Justin. All right, ready for issue 3?
Number 3, yes.
All right, hold on. Back up a little
Things
bit.
are going to get even more deadly in issue 3.
Oh, well, you could put it that way, or you could say things are going to get
more vicious and brutal than ever.
That too.
All right. Hawkeye, number 3 from November 1983. Beating the Odds. Oh, okay. This time we got change of the team a little bit. This time the inkers are Danny Belandi and Elliot Brown. Colors Christy Sheely, and I think everyone else is the same. Was Joe Rosen on letters before? But yeah, Grunwald's still writing and penciling. So, Bombshell and Oddball, 2 hired goons, stake out Mockingbird's apartment and bomb it, hoping to kill both she and Hawkeye. But the 2 heroes anticipate danger and avoid the trap seconds before the loft explodes. They begin tracking the villains throughout New York and catch up with them at Grand Central Station. Bombshell tries to keep Mockingbird at bay with incendiary blasts, while Oddball torments Hawkeye with his various explosive juggling balls.
Gotta watch those balls.
Yes, I think I got a clean drop. Yes. There's your next birthday present, Lilith. Despite the superior skills of the 2 heroes, Bombshell and Oddball manage to take them down and render them unconscious. They haul their inert bodies back to Cross Technology. All right, so thoughts. Oh, and don't we get? Isn't this the issue? We get we get a cameo by Steve Rogers.
We do
on the subway.
Yeah, Mockingbird is all about him. She's like, "My God, he's gorgeous."
Yeah, because you don't know
he's
who
one
he
of us, right?
Yeah, because he's out of costume. Yeah.
Oh,
that's funny.
That is funny. I also am always amused whenever I read this at the part where they go to the sporting goods store, and he's got that pile of arrows, and he goes, "Gosh, I love arrows." He's just looking at them like,
I know.
He's looking at them like it's a newborn baby or something,
I know.
cradling it in his hands.
Because she's like, I thought you got your arrows specially made. He's like, nah, the arrow heads are modular. I can stick them on anything, pretty much.
Yeah, you get them in any sporting goods store.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, "Happy now?" And he says, "You betcha. Gosh, I love arrows." It's so funny. That always makes me laugh.
I know. He loves them shafts, doesn't he?
A man after my own heart.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
All right, but no, I mean, we mentioned that Steve Rogers scene. That would have been an interesting little what if. It's like, if she hadn't got with Hawkeye, what would her and Steve have been like?
Yeah, because he's like, whatever you're doing, I'll drop whatever I'm doing and help you out if you need it. And you can tell he's got his shield because he's got his briefcase right there, and it's like, yeah, you know what's in there.
Oh yeah, because that's Is this still? Oh yeah, is this when DeMatteis is writing them because he's working as like a commercial artist at this point.
I think so. Yeah. 80.
This is 80.
Was he 82?
This is 83.
83.
Yeah,
83.
I think he was. Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was the perfect way to carry a shield around because he actually was like working as an artist.
Yeah.
Was it early? Yeah, it was early Grunwald, I think, where Marvel Comics like, hey, you want to draw the Iron Man comic? He's like, no, would you let me draw Captain America?
You could say I have some hands-on experience with the subject matter.
I feel more passionate about Cap.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna cover some, in April, but oh man, we got to cover so much of that Grunwald Cap. I love that stuff.
We could definitely do a whole month of that if we wanted to.
That's sure. Like a month. God, we could do a year, Cat. Yeah, I love that era. Yeah, I love Grunwald.
Yeah, me too.
Cap.
Yeah, some of the best Marvel comic books ever.
Oh my God, this is. I mean, did you see some of these posters as they're like chasing Oddball and Bombshell through the?
Yeah, this is one that says this poster exploits women.
Can't even see what's on it.
You can't even see what's on it. Yeah, I love this little battle that they have in the subway tunnel.
Oh yeah, it almost looks like pool balls or something. Just like there's like these like
they're just hurling them. Which, if you think about it, that's actually a pretty effective weapon. If you've ever been hit by a pool ball, like
yeah. That's like what is it? Is it like British boarding schools or something? There's something or like some of those like teenager stuff. Like, they use weapons like pool balls, throw them in like a big sock and just like beat people with
Yeah, like that's enough to bludgeon somebody with for sure. So the first time I read this, I was like, "Oh, Oddball, that's stupid." But then you think about it. No, actually, that weapon is that's pretty severe. Actually, if you get hit by that,
Mockingbird shooting out those battle staves. She goes, "So I had to think I passed up playing on the Shield softball team."
Yeah, she's batting them away. I love that. And then they go whipping around the corner, and there's that nun sitting there in the folding chair. My heavens! But it's not actually a nun. It's Bombshell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, that's so funny. She's dressed as a nun, then she takes off the nun outfit, then she's like showing skin in that outfit.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. What's a single incendiary charge? I was gonna say because it looks like Mockingbird's back smoking after she shoots her.
Yeah, but then she has the special costume.
Yeah.
Flame resistant. Yeah, but to their credit, they actually win. The villains actually get the upper hand here. Which, the first time I was reading that, I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought, they're going to leave this on a cliffhanger? Oh, I guess that happened.
Oddball takes that guy hostage, and the guy's like, look, everyone, this guy's going to juggle me to death.
Yeah.
Then he laughing when Oddball like hits him like point blank with one of those balls. Yeah.
Yeah. Wise guy, huh? Breaks his glasses. It looks like he's bleeding out of his ear or something.
I don't know if he... looks like he hit him on the side of the head. I mean, either that or his glasses cut him because they like break the guy's glasses, yeah.
It's like, I hate wise guys. Yeah, you don't want to mess around with Oddball, I guess. I remember him and Bombshell and a bunch of other, like, the Death Throes.
Yeah, is that from, like, Solo Avengers? Yeah.
Solo Avengers, yeah. There was a big story where there were a bunch of them that were harassing Hawkeye, and years later, I tracked down this miniseries and read it, and I was like, oh, yeah, I remember Oddball and Bombshell from that Solo Avengers story.
Oh, speaking of, I mean, kids, we have another Wondercast coming up. I mean, we are coming in a Solo Avengers issue in the Avengers Spotlight. Are we going to do those Hawkeye stories, too?
We definitely could. I think those are standalone ones that aren't part of, like, a longer-standing, like, story, like a longer running story subplot.
That'd be a nice little 2-for-1.
Yeah. Yeah, the Hawkeye one in the Solo Avengers one was really good with Screaming Mimi and Angmar the Screamer.
Screaming Mimi who would go on the big things. Like the Thunderbolts. Yes.
Yeah. Back in her villainous days.
God. Oh my God, that's another Grunwald story we got to cover. The Superior Stratagem where Captain Paladin, that cruise ship is just full of women super villains. Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the summer stories when it was a bi-weekly thing.
Yes. Oh,
definitely.
Those were so good.
We did one last year, Man and Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
And I think you've covered Streets of Poison, I think, on...
Oh, Lilith and I covered that a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? That actually might have been on the other feeds. I mean, if we want to do that one day, that's fine.
That would be fun. I love that one. Watching the Red Skull and the Kingpin duke it out in the last part of the story. Oh, that's so good.
That's so funny. That's after the whole Dust to Death when, that Red Skull's it's actually his head, it's not a mask anymore. Because they're searching each other for weapons. He's like, yeah, you can tell your guys, they can touch my head if they want,
And they're like, we'd rather not touch your face.
Touch an actual guy's skull. Ooh.
Yeah, ooh, no thanks.
Does the Kingpin just sit on him or just
fall
on him or something?
Lands on him, yeah.
He's like, I can sit here all night.
That whole story is crazy. Just how wild Captain America gets.
Oh, yeah.
How unhinged he gets, beating up Daredevil and trying to beat up Black Widow and Diamondback in that one issue. Yeah, it's wild stuff.
Oh, hell, we were going to cover the issue before that. I've never covered when him and Diamondback basically go on their first date.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah. And Asp and Black Mamba are taking down all of these supervillains on the side. They keep trying to jump out and ruin their days.
They would get Anaconda to help them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we don't do any other acts of vengeance, we got to do the Captain America acts of vengeance issues because somebody shows up. Someone's favorite.
Oh,
shows
yes. Those are jewels. All of those, even the one with the controller.
Yes.
Is great. Yeah.
Oh, there's so much goodness in that.
Yeah.
Hell, the first appearance of Crossbones.
Crossbones. Yeah. I love the Bloodstone hunt too.
Oh yeah.
That one's my personal favorite. Yeah.
All right. So should we get to the number 4?
Yes. Till death do us part. It says.
Wonder why they titled it that. I mean, that's some that's some cover. Hawkeye laying in a coffin there.
Yeah, with all the heroes gathered around, mourning. Yeah. Ooh.
All right, so Hawkeye number 4, December 1983. As Justin said, till death do us part. Oh my. Grunwald writing and penciling again, and your 4 inkers this time. Danny Belandi, Ian Akin, Brian Garvey, and Elliot R. Brown. And then colors Bob Sharon, Leonard Joe Rosen, and editor Dennis O'Neill. So yeah, 4 inkers this time, kids. Wonder if this was, we have to hurry up and get this done, or...
Probably that was the case, yeah. And it seemed like there were a lot more elaborate art scenes in this one than in previous issues. Yeah.
Maybe. Waking up in the basement of a mortuary, Hawkeye and Mockingbird find out that they have been captured by Crossfire, and he was the one who hired Silencer, Oddball, and Bombshell to attack the 2 heroes. Crossfire then reveals that he plans to kill Hawkeye and arrange it that at his funeral, he will brainwash all the heroes that attend into fighting each other to the death. Then Oddball and Bombshell take Hawkeye and Mockingbird into a room so that Crossfire can test his brainwashing machine, called the Undertaker Machine, and make the 2 heroes fight to the death. Hawkeye and Mockingbird share a kiss before they are forced to fight. Crossfire switches on the Undertaker Machine and the 2 heroes begin the fight. Crossfire switches off the machine to see how long the effect takes to wear off. At this moment, Hawkeye puts a hypersonic arrowhead in his mouth, unseen due to some cameras being damaged in the fight, to nullify the ultrasound Undertaker's effects. It works, and Hawkeye manages to knock Mockingbird unconscious before seemingly falling unconscious himself. Oddball and Bombshell pick up the 2 heroes, but Hawkeye manages to subdue them before going after Crossfire. Crossfire knocks himself out by trying to shoot a concussive arrow at Hawkeye, but failing and thus exploding on the ground next to him. When the police come to arrest the villains, Mockingbird tries to get together with Hawkeye, but he dismisses her, not knowing what she said because he was rendered deaf from the hypersonic arrowhead. Fortunately, Mockingbird catches up and Hawkeye realizes what's happened and gets Clint a hearing aid. 1 week later, and the two heroes have become an item and are taking a break in a cottage in the Pocono Mountains in New York. It's so funny. It says right here, it says Pocono Mountains in New York, but then if you they list all the locations, it says Pennsylvania Pocono Mountains. So I do know the Poconos are in Pennsylvania because that's where I had my honeymoon. So
oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a resort, but still, yeah, come on.
Maybe they're in the same neck of the woods.
It's close to New York. Yeah, it's like if you drive from here to New York, yeah, you're gonna hit the Poconos. But
it's so funny.
So I mean, it's interesting that it's typical story at the time. He probably would have been like, oh yeah, his hearing loss was just permanent. No, Mark Grunwald made it. It was permanent for a while there.
Yeah, I remember in the West Coast Avengers. That was the first time I learned about it because I read that before I read this miniseries. So it was cool to see how that all actually started in the first place. I had thought that it had happened during his carnival days, like it was an injury from that type of stuff. But, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, actually, he was kind of that way until they came back from Heroes Reborn, and then, kind of like, Franklin Richards fixed everyone because they fixed his hearing. Iron Man wasn't a teenager anymore. The Wasp wasn't a giant mutated wasp anymore.
Right. Yes.
Because remember the crappening kids?
Oh, yeah. Ooh, ouch. We did 4 episodes of that, and
was that last March?
Yeah.
April. That was our big April Fool's prank.
Turned out April Fool's prank on everybody.
Turned out it was a prank on us.
Not on ourselves.
No, this April.
We're not doing that again this year.
Justin handpicked some good stuff for this April. Yeah, no,
it's not gonna. Because it's Phil's birthday month in April, so I decided to pick out some of his. What I think that some of his favorites would be, and a different character, a different series every week. So
a lot more palatable than last April, kids.
Yes, that's all I'll say. Absolutely, in every respect.
The crapping.
Yeah, from now on, let's just do one episode of a crappy story rather than the whole month.
Oh yeah.
We definitely tortured ourselves, but again, I'm glad that we actually did the crossing again because I wanted to read the issues that I hadn't read the first time.
Too,
the Force Works stuff and all that.
And I don't think I had ever read it in like one sitting or a couple sittings like that. So I was like, will that make it any better? No.
No. Even the War Machine stuff, like I had a really high interest in that. I was just like, ooh, yikes. Not the best era for Marvel. Yeah.
But yeah, I had forgotten. Yeah, Crossfire. This wasn't his first appearance either, because he had appeared in a Marvel 2-in-1 with The Thing and Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, yes. Written by Stephen Grant, and that's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
In that story, it was revealed that Crossfire and Moon Knight actually knew each other. They had actually worked together in the CIA in the past, and had a previous relationship there. And I had always felt being a big fan of Moon Knight, I always felt that was a wasted opportunity that they never brought Crossfire back to become a recurring nemesis for Moon Knight. I mean, they had that past in the CIA together. They had that one battle, and then that was it. And they, to the best of my knowledge, I mean, there might be some other thing, but I'm pretty sure that was it. And I felt like there was a wasted opportunity. There was a perfect chance there to have a great recurring nemesis for Moon Knight.
Yeah, Hawkeye and Moon Knight could have shared him,
Absolutely, yeah.
That would have been a good excuse for a Hawkeye Moon Knight team up somewhere,
Yeah.
Just the two
definitely.
of them.
Yeah.
Oh god, then this scene when he's explaining to Hawkeye and Mockingbird about how, I'll brainwash, all the heroes will battle each other and kill each other.
Yeah.
just the last people standing. It's like Thor, Ben Grimm, The Vision, and Monica Rambeau.
Yeah. And they're all tortured with guilt about what they've done. Yeah, you can see Reed Richards' body like crushed underneath some debris and stuff,
just stretched across half the floor. Yeah,
and it almost looks like Quasar, like half of Quasar's body there.
Yeah, because it looks like what he was wearing at the time. Yeah, because and then blue cape and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who else that was.
Or was he? This might have been when he was Marvel.
I think he was Marvel Man, but yeah, that was him. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. And on one of those panels, you can see Thor hurling Mjolnir and right at Daredevil, right at to like.
Oh, I know.
Looks like it takes his head right off. Yeah,
I think he had Iron Fist too, because if you look at that second panel where all the heroes are dead, it looks like Iron Fist is like through the wall, half of them like through the wall.
Yeah, Luke Cage is all sprawled out in one of the foyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is intense. This apocalyptic vision of the future, Crossfire's grand vision, is pretty heavy stuff.
Oh yeah, because Hawkeye's even like, well, what not putting me to sleep. He's like, well, how did I get the honor of being the first guy? And Crossfire's like, you are the weakest, most vulnerable known costume crime fighter in town.
Weakest.
Damn, yeah, he's telling him.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you're the low man on the totem pole, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just a dude that shoots arrows. Yeah, why do I have to be afraid of you? And then I love how that bites him in the ass at the end, because he tries to pick up Clint's bow and obviously can't do anything with it.
I know, yeah.
Ends up knocking himself out.
Because what do you say? That's like 250-pound pull or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love when him and Mockingbird are hypnotized. Hawkeye goes to shoot a bow, and he's not holding a bow. He's just going through the motions.
Right, yeah. It's all unconscious.
Because he's so used to it, yeah.
Yeah. And that was a good fight, too, between the two of them. I thought that was cool. Just the whole way that fight was choreographed. It was really good.
Yeah, because, again, showing, too, I mean, going all out. I mean, he did hold his own against a trained agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and she definitely did a number on him, too, before he knocked her unconscious. Yeah.
But yeah, then just him, putting that sonic arrowhead in his mouth, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was clever. I liked that. That was a neat little trick to get out of it.
And like I said, it's not like a permanent and a temporary thing where it's just like, oh yeah, he'll be back, his hair will be back. No, this lasted a while.
Yeah.
I think they fixed it after Heroes Reborn, but then I think in a later series, I think they took his hearing again. Was it the
I think it's in the Fraction one. Yeah. Maybe it was some explosion or something that happened, or maybe a villain.
Maybe we'll get to that in the 5 issues we cover, but I haven't reread it yet. But yeah, I
can't remember, but I feel like something happened, and he had that again. I like the scene too where he feels all this remorse over what he's done to Mockingbird, even though he couldn't really help it. He feels like he believes for a moment that he killed her, and then she comes to.
I almost feel like, I wonder if that epilogue page was tacked on later, because the page before it almost seems like it could have been an ending too, but, when he's walking away, he can't hear her. I'm like, were they originally going to end it that way? And then, did Grunwald or someone decide, nah, let's marry him off, just tacked on that last page? I don't know.
I know, yeah, I was kind of wondering that too.
Because just the last thing he's thinking now, what you saying? It's probably nothing important anyway. I could see, certain writers ending it right there. So
yeah, and it kind of feels like an ending right there. Yeah, but then you get the epilogue.
So I wonder if they married them. I mean, not that they had to marry him off, but I wonder if they did that just so they knew she was going to be hanging around with him. They wanted an excuse for her to be tagging along with him every 2 seconds, and if I wonder if they were already plotting to put out West Coast Avengers and stuff.
Maybe, yeah, because this was 82, and that came out in what, 84?
Maybe. I think, that first miniseries, I think so.
83. So this is 83, and that was a year later. So, yeah, I think that they were probably, planning this out, yeah. West Coast Avengers, the whole team.
Or if even not, maybe they're just like, oh, well, I want to do something with Hawkeye, either solo, these two, just the two of them together, or like a team or something.
Yeah. What year was the very first West Coast Avengers miniseries? That was 84, right?
Let me look. That sounds right. I think it was.
Yeah.
God, we just did it. God.
We did.
A bunch of old men. We can't remember.
I know. Yeah.
Did that towards the end of last year. Number 1. Yep. The one with all the floating heads on it. Published September 1984.
Okay, yeah. So I think, it makes sense that they were laying the groundwork for that here. Yeah. Yeah, this is a great little story. Yeah.
Because, I mean, especially Grunwald, I could see him plotting this out like in advance, yeah.
Definitely.
Oh my God, he never did he? I was going to say, imagine if we would have got a West Coast Avengers by Grunwald.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah. He was doing too much at the time, though.
I know. I wonder if that's I wonder if that's why he didn't draw it, like do the art more, because he was writing so much. Because I know at one point he was at least writing Captain America and Quasar at the same time.
And plus, he was doing a lot of editing.
Yeah,
too.
he was a big editor. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Either way. Well, oh my God. Well, I mean, it didn't last long, but again, the point where they turned Vision into White Vision. I mean, for at least a couple of months, Byrne was doing both Avengers books, right?
I think he was writing them both.
Yeah, I think he was writing them both at least.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think Paul Ryan did the pencils on the East Coast Avengers book.
But oh my God, can you imagine if I wouldn't want him to leave Captain America or Quasar, but if Grunwald had written both Avengers books at the same time,
man, that would have been incredible. Even if it was just for a short amount of time.
Yeah, like a 6 months or something. You know, just like some arc. Oh my God,
oh man, some epic story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What we could have had.
I know. I'm happy with what we still have, though.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this little miniseries is fantastic. It's kind of like an undiscovered little gem because not a lot of people know about this miniseries.
Yeah.
I feel like the Matt Fraction series, even though it's great, kind of overshadowed a lot of the stuff that came before it.
Yeah, and again, it's been reprinted a lot. The Fraction stuff's been like reprinted in trade and stuff a lot more, but. Yeah, I remember when I found this series like years ago in the back issue bins. I was like, "Oh, yes!" Because I wanted to read it anyway, and I forget if I even knew. I don't think I even knew. I was pleasantly surprised it was Grunwald. I was like, "Oh, it's a Grunwald."
Yeah, doing the art and the script. Yeah,
because I'm always so happy when I come across something he wrote that I haven't read before. I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah. Me too.
Because there's not a lot left that he wrote that I haven't read. Because like I read every one of his Captain Americas, every one of his Quasars, this series,
Squadron Supreme.
Oh my God, the one version of that was it the trade? He had he was cremated, had his ashes put into the ink in one of those.
Right.
Oh my Lord! Because I remember I got the trade of that, and it was like a later version because there was like I forget who did the introduction to it, but at the end it said, you know, how he had his ashes put in, but then it says, this version does not have the ashes. I'm like,
I wanted that one.
God, that's so cool. Comic. You can tell he loved comics, man. He literally had his ashes put in it.
That is your life's passion right there.
And again, I love it anyway, but we do have to cover that Squadron Supreme series.
Yes.
I mean, that had to have been his favorite, to have his, you know, to say, this is the one I want my ashes put in. I mean,
I think if I remember right, maybe he did mention in an interview that was his favorite, possibly.
Because again,
maybe my brain's manufacturing that, but I'm pretty sure he said that in an interview at some point.
Yeah, I swear I heard that somewhere. But I mean, you figure, I mean, the characters had been around just like everyone else, but it's like you probably had more wiggle room to play with them than with like Captain America and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they are on their own separate Earth and stuff, and they're not getting done every month. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also love, we should cover sometime, maybe on Comic Capers or something, the stuff that he did for the new universe.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever read DP7 and...
I haven't read a ton of that. The one I've read the most is probably Starbrand.
Starbrand, yeah. That one was good too.
I mean, we could do that here. I mean, it was put out by Marvel, you know.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, as far as if you're looking for Mark Grunwald stuff that you haven't read yet, DP7.
Okay. Yeah. That's another one I haven't read. Yeah, I got to read that because
that was also on more Paul Ryan artwork too.
Oh yeah, because I know I did get some. I got a collection of forget how it was the first 10 or something of Starbrand, because the Starbrand was showing up in Quasar series for a while. Yeah,
right. That's right. Yeah.
And it took place in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
All right. Anything else, Justin?
No, I think we covered all of this. lovely little series. I'm glad that this was recently collected in that Epic collection.
Yes.
So that people can get a chance to read it and see how good it is.
And
Because this is a great Hawkeye story. It's a great Mockingbird story. And it's just a great comic book story in general as well.
And again, and it's on the Marvel Unlimited app. So, yeah. So, you already have the app and you don't have the money for the Epic collection. Yeah, it's on the app. Read it on the app.
Definitely. Go check it out and read it if you haven't. You'll definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, it's years ago I bought it, but it's like I wonder if it's still cheap in the back issue bins.
Maybe, yeah.
You never know because once someone hits the MCU, sometimes they like try to jack up prices on stuff. Sometimes, yeah. And
it did just hit the 40-year mark, so that could have changed things a little bit. Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like about us getting more characters in live action and stuff. Because like back in the day, you could find so much more for cheaper in back issue bins.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. And sometimes even in good condition, because sometimes now if you get it for like $1 or something, it might not is a reader copy. It's not it might not be in the best condition, but
yeah. And usually I'm fine, depending on what it is. I'm fine with that as long as the cover is still on and it's
that bugs me
up and no pages are missing, or as long as there's no noticeable damage to the comic book, then I don't really care as long as I can read it.
God, that's like that store I went to over the break. Oh my God! There's a whole. I sent that picture. That wasn't even the whole room. Because like I didn't go through the whole thing. So I'm like, I told my wife, I'm like, this would be an all day thing. You would have to get the store open and pretty much stay there all day. Maybe have someone bring you lunch or something. Yeah.
Yeah, take a lunch break and then go back.
Yeah, because my wife and son, it was in a mall. We usually don't go to. My wife and son went to like go to another store, and I was just like. I came out, again, it was like 50-cent comics, kids. I got like
yeah, you can't pass that.
I think I spent $20, got 40 comics,
Yeah, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. I would have done the same thing.
And I barely scratched the surface. I'm like, I gotta go back.
Yeah, so many more, yeah. But yeah, that looks like an all-day event, easily.
You know why it's an all-day event? The thing that always drives me crazy, they weren't in any particular order. Yeah. You just threw them in a box. It's a big room, just a full long boxes, but no particular order. It wasn't even like, Marvel in this box, DC in this. No. It could have been anything in all these boxes. Yeah.
That's kind of aggravating.
And I hate that too, because it's like, say you find like a limited series or something, and you find like an issue or two, you're like, do I want to pick this up even though, is the whole set here?
Yeah, am I going to find the other half of this? Or you find the issues 3 and 4 of the 4-issue miniseries, and you can't find the first 2 issues. That's the best.
That's when you start I'm definitely going to get this POW and a maybe POW.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Enough old men reminiscing. All right. So, back in my day. All right, kids. So, yes, the next 2 episodes, we're going to be doing more Hawkeye. As we said, next week, we're going to be doing Hawkeye, the first 6 issues. It was only 8 issues, but it was like the first arc was 6, and then there was a 2-issue arc after. But, yes, the first 6 issues of the 2000. I have 2004, but I think it was 2003 into 2004 Hawkeye series. So, yeah, the first 6 issues of that.
Which I haven't read yet. This is going to be my first time reading that.
And I can't wait to hear Justin giggle when he finds out what the title of that is. I got to tell him now. Okay, the title of that one is The High Hard Shaft. He just became doubly interested in reading it, kids.
I might read that tomorrow.
I'm a sucker for a guy with a powerful rod.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and then as we said, in 2 weeks, we'll cover the first 5 issues of that 2012 Matt Fraction Hawkeye series.
I'm excited about that. It's been a while since I've read that, so I'm also excited to go back and revisit that one.
And then you kids are lucky enough to get 5 episodes this month. So yes, the last 2 of the month we will be covering the first, as we said, it'll probably be 1 through 4 and 5 through 8 of that original Marvel ROM series in honor of the Romnibus coming out here.
By that time, the Romnibus will be in both of our hands, I believe.
Yes, it is. Yes, my wife did pre-order that for me for Christmas, so yes.
Nice.
So we might have to adjust, but because we don't have it in our hands yet. But plan on 1 through 4 and 5 through 8. And then
if not, we do have a B plan in case that we do have to.
I just mean I'm pretty sure we're going to do Braun, but it's just that the issue numbers might slide back and through. So
yeah. All
right, and like I said, we're going to be doing Wolverine in March. We'll do Wolverine Origin, and I won't go too far, but yeah, the second week will be Marvel Comics Presents arc. You know which one I'm talking about, kids.
Oh yes,
I think it's pretty much the only Marvel one of, if not the only Marvel Comics Presents arcs that's been collected in trade. So
in trade, and it's available everywhere. Yeah.
Weapon X.
That's right.
All right, kids. So
in honor of his 50th birthday.
That's right. He's getting old. You guys could get on these shenanigans on Gamma Charge. Cover his first appearance. That was in a Hulk book.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think actually we talked about that.
Did
We might do some little spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point this year. Yeah.
It is a Hulk book.
Yeah, definitely. And they've tussled a few times since then.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about one of those appearances, but there's several that we could talk about.
Oh hell, you should. There you go. One of your March episodes should be like the greatest Hulk Wolverine fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Oh my god, do his first appearance and then do the McFarlane cover one. Yeah.
Yes. Love that one.
Yeah, of course.
With Joe Fixit.
I'm biased because of Joe, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Naturally.
All right, kids. I thought we were getting out of here. All right, so send us all your feedback. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes and Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise, and the Patreon.
Join me in the Patreon Elite.
Yes. Justin, Ray, Russell, Moz, and our new member. I'm sorry, I haven't memorized your name yet, so I don't even think it was a name. It was I don't know if it was a screen name or something. So
I
have to write it down. Sorry, I am old. So, and again, if you have not subscribed, that Patreon in 2024 is thank you, Lilith Hellfire.
More vicious and brutal than ever.
So find it all in one place. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/CapesandLunatics Podcast Network. All right, Mr. Justin the Owl, or as we know him.
It's me, your old pal the Owl.
Oh my god, I need that drop, and I need to buy the rights to that Taste the Biscuit song.
Oh, yes.
Wonder how much they won for it. All right, so yes. You can find our old pal the Owl here every week on Marvel Tales. You can find him twice a month on Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast with me and Tyler Patrick. You can find him once a month on We Are the Night, the Batman
podcast.
Him, me, Ty, Justin, and Russell once a month on We Are the Night, the Batman podcast talking Azrael, and once a month on Energon Universe, where we cover all the new Transformers and G.I. Joe content. But of course, the king of podcasting doesn't stop there. So, Justin, where else can people find you?
The Archduke of podcasting. You can also find me on Gamma Charge, the strongest podcast there is, where me and my pal Russell talk about the Incredible Hulk and the Sensational She-Hulk twice a month, and we have a third episode every month that's live where we talk about the brand new comic books. We also have a Patreon, so do check that out. And we can be found over on Predator and Prey, the Yocha podcast with our pal Ray, the High Priest of Khonshu himself. That is also twice a month, and we talk about Fox's Predator in comic books, movies, action figures, and more. Russell and I are also doing a spotlight on DC's Demon, Gone the Form of Man. The Etrigan podcast is covering Jack Kirby's Demon series in its entirety. We're about halfway through it now, and it's been super fun. And last but not least, the Lost Library of Legends is my solo project. And in the month of January, I am going back to the early 90s to talk about an Impact comic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, caught my attention there. Yes.
Scream it!
I've gotten Phil hooked on the Impact stuff, folks.
Oh, you know what? I saw those ads in the comics when they were first out, and I'm like, I want to read these, but I couldn't find them because I was still I think spinner rack at that point. I hadn't found like an LCS yet, and I think they were planning on doing spinners, but they never did. It was just through the comic shops, I think. So yeah, so recently I've been as I pick up back issues, I'm like, oh man, I wish I would have loved this, in the early '90s.
Yeah, they're so good. I love the Impact stuff. Yeah.
Stay tuned, kids. We might do that. A few episodes somewhere along the way. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Phil will be talking some Impact in the near future.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So yes.
Scream at. Guilty or innocent.
Oh, we're guilty of loving comics, kids.
That's right. And loving it.
Comics and Biscuits, the Justin podcast. If you just put out like a random show, where you just talk about whatever the hell you felt like that week, that would be the name. Just Comics and Biscuits. Or Biscuits
Comics and
Biscuits.
Yeah.
What's hot in Comics and Biscuits this week? Just meow. All right, kids, come back next time for more Hawkeye.